In the heart of South Sudan, where the plains stretch wide and stories are woven into the wind, lies a culture both rich and resilient, the Murle people. Today we journey into the lives, voices, and traditions of Murle women, the silent strength behind a vibrant culture. What makes the Murle culture stand out in diverse tapestry of South Sudan?
My name is KongKongo Babanin. I've done research on women, culture and women, and I come from Bibor. What describes the Murle culture the most is age sets. It's something so central to us. It dictates our lives, our marriages, the status of a woman, whether she's married or not. So age set is something I think is very unique. Between the age of 1 to 15 years, this age gap is one age set. And then it keeps on reducing to like maybe an age gap of 10 years, because when another age set comes up, the ones who came to an age set when they were still young can go back to their real age set. So there is something called they say 9 generations. That means by the time, let's say by the time the 10th one comes up, the first one will have, all of them would have died by that time. So when boys reach 15 years, they come up with an age set and a name, but that name and the beads also, yeah? The colors of the beads, you can just tell which age set this one belongs to by the color of their beads. So a certain age set will not, even if they have come up and we recognize them, even if they have beads, if the older age set has not yet given them the chance to dance in the dance floor, they will not dance. So by the time they let them dance, it's a very big ceremony for them. Like they have been allowed to dance in front of everyone. These beads, this one, it's called Tulunya, it's for the head. And this one is called Dalan, and this one is Kalbe Chibatinu. This age set, they are called Botonya. Under the Botonya, they are called Walak. This is Walak, exactly. This navy blue and white, they are both Walaknya. They're around their 30s to 40s right now, currently. I'm wearing it because I'm married to them. I'm wearing this because his father is from also this age set. My dad is from this age set, but I'm not wearing it because of my dad. Because when you're married, you don't wear for your dad. They will actually beat you. Like, why are you wearing for your father? Like, you're married. So I'm wearing this for my father-in-law, even if I could be wearing for my dad. I would have worn black and white, but that's not so important. The clothes are not so important. The beads are the most, if I wore like another color. But now I'm seeing, I think the latest age set, they're like 15, I think right now. The beads they're wearing, their beads are like for an age set that they already passed away, like old age set. My grandfather, an old age set, I think by now they'd be like 120 if they are still alive. They are now bringing back those colors. And I think another thing that is so unique that I don't see somewhere else is that Murle women build houses. There are houses in the village.
From old age rituals to seasonal celebrations, the Murle have preserved customs that echo through generations. Weddings are filled with dance and color. The joyful arrival of a child at the harvest, a sacred season of thanksgiving.
The naming of the child is given to the elders. Even if you're the father, you want to give a very important name, the elders are still there, they will give that opportunity to the elders. And it's something very important. You cannot name your child until you tell your elders. And then they will slaughter, of course it will be like a party. They will slaughter cows and there is happiness. And then for the wedding also, it's almost similar, but the wedding of course is a bit bigger. And when it comes to weddings, the boy's family is the one that does the singing, because a new member of the family traditional, so they don't sing for her. She might be, because weddings sometimes it might be forced, or even if it's not forced, maybe the girl does not want to marry at that time. Those days they used to marry when they were very young, so they don't sing for her. She might be like, I don't want to go, I want to remain. So the family doesn't sing for her. The boys' family, the song they sing is not just any song. It's called Chal. Chal is a song for the clan. So the clan of the boys' family is the one that sings. Yeah, and then when they take her home, the beads she's wearing from her home, because the ceremony happens first in her father's house. Then when they take her to the husband's home, the beads, they remove the beads that she's wearing. They remove those beads and they give her other beads now to show that she's a married woman.
With this culture rhythm, women play a pivotal role as mothers, caregivers, artists, and keepers of memory. They are often at the center, guiding, leading, and blessing. Through storytelling, traditional songs, and dances, Murle women pass on wisdom, birthing life into heritage in ceremonies and community rituals.
Because most of the time the women are the ones at home, they're the ones who tell us the stories. They're the ones who talk to us in our mother tongue. They're the ones who, those stories. And also they tell us about our own lineage. They're women, because they're at home most of the time. I think they have helped a lot in preserving the culture. There's something called kabarze. Kabarze, it has been there for a very long time, ever since. But now it has become a bit different. Kabarze means a virgin. Kabarze is a virgin girl. But when the virgins go and dance, there's a dance of their own. They dance, they form a circle, and the songs they sing, sometimes they sing for their own cows. But when they are singing, it means there is peace in the land. They don't sing it when there is chaos, because they are fragile. Then, what changed in history is that there was a time when these exits were very wild and they used to fight too much within themselves. So the women took it upon themselves, mothers. They call themselves kabarze, which is not, they are not kabarze, they have given birth. But then they went to the town and they said, we will sing and dance even when there is chaos, because we want them to understand that we gave birth to them. They will listen to us. They went to where the boys are fighting, in the center, the market center in Bibor, and these women went and danced. Some of them even stripped naked. And nakedness is a curse in the African culture. I don't think it's only a curse in our culture, but in our culture it's a sign of a curse. So the ones who saw, they would run away and leave the guns. So till then, they made for them, it's like an organization of their own now, these kabarze women. Whenever there is decision making, for example, sometimes there's these peace initiatives that happen between the Murle, Bor, and Kobo. These women, they take them. But before, they don't take women. Even if you're in the government, they don't care about you, they will not take you. But now, the kabarze women are independent. So they go, they are part of the decision making.
But with change comes a challenge. Murle women today navigate a delicate balance between tradition and the pressures of a modern world. Some culture expectations limit their freedom and choices, and yet they rise, questioning, evolving, and dreaming.
Some of them don't even understand how the modernization, how it's going so fast for them, They will get married, they have lived their whole life in the village, they will get married, bring them here. Sometimes they take them to Kenya. They don't understand the language there. They don't know English. They don't even speak. They don't even read and write, I think that's one of the biggest challenges for them, to raise kids in a land that they don't know. And then also, because they have not gone to school, they cannot, in Uganda and Kenya, you can't make tea like here in South Sudan. Here you can make your shai and bun and shisha on the road, and you can sustain for your kids. But when you leave South Sudan, it's hard. And most of them are in refugee places, so I think that's a very hard thing for them. And also, the ones who are not educated, again, they only depend on their husband. which is not a bad thing to depend on your husband since it's culture. But like if your husband can't provide anymore, for example, if he's sick, or even if he's not sick and he's not educated, so I think that's very difficult for them. Because we are pastoralists, we used to move from one place to another. So when we are moving to the other place, you just build a house that is not permanent, and it's the woman who builds it. But sometimes even these permanent houses, like we call it luak, and it's so big, and she has so many things she's doing. She has to fetch water. At the time when she's building, I don't think there's anyone cooking because she's the one supposed to cook. I think that's too much. And also, I think we should encourage people to take their kids to school. Some parents take their children, it's upon the parents to take their children to school, but because we are expected by a certain age, you must be married to bring cows back home. I think the expectation is too much.
Education is a key that opens doors, but for many Murle girls and women, the path of learning is steep.
Women who are educated, they know their rights. I think that's the first thing I would say. They know their rights. They know how to also help with the community. For example, I know what I am supposed to do. And a woman who is not educated, she might know her rights, but in the community also, they undermine them, like, what do you know? And then also, if you're educated, you can be able to tell other girls, when you're educated, you will be like me. You'll do this and this and this. You'll be able to help your family, because so many girls want to help their family. For example, if you're only girls in your family, all of you are girls, and if one of you is educated, you can help your parents. And for those who are not accessing education, I think some of them can't access education simply because in some payams there are no schools. And even if those ones who have schools in their payams or their counties, you're expected to get married early. So why should we take you to school? You're supposed to be bringing cows home. Like, your brothers have to get married, and the cows, you are the one bringing those cows. So I think that's one of the challenges. I think cows are the only reasons why they're not taking cows to school.
Through education, women are not only changing their futures, but shaping the future of their people.
There are people who are encouraging people to go to school. And they encourage them by bringing scholarships closer. Although most of these scholarships are being taken up by boys, because they claim, they will sell cows to take boys to school, yet these cows are being brought in by the girls. But the people who are providing these scholarships or looking for these scholarships are people who are educated, or people who they're not educated, but they wish they had that opportunity. So it's upon the parents to let them go to school. And then also within ourselves, we take other kids to school, like kids who are underprivileged kids. We take them to school. And some, like I said, age set is something so important for us. So kids of a certain age set can come together and say, let's take these children to school. Like that, those initiatives are there.
Distance, cultural barriers, and economic hardships stand in the way. Still, there are sparks of hope, local initiatives, brave voices, and community efforts pushing for empowerment without erasing identity.
How they advocate for their rights, these women sing. They'll sing something and you don't know that they're singing about you. For example, they cannot fight their husbands. Their husbands are like second gods, So how do you tell your husband you're wrong? You can't sing. But you should not find out that you're singing about him directly. So maybe we'll sit down and be like, oh, she doesn't like this. For example, if my pet cow my special cow is a black and white cow, I will not sing that my cow is black and white. I would call another animal like that has black and white, maybe a zebra. I'll sing about a zebra, but I'm meaning my cow. So they know, even the men know that, oh, she's singing about me. When women didn't like something, even about the authorities, their leaders, they will sing for their leaders. Their leaders will find out, and they will go even sing in front of their homes and this to get the attention. I think singing is one of the biggest ways women use to say we want this.
And in leadership, yes, Murle women are stepping forward as peace builders, mediators, teachers, and healers.
Women are taking leadership roles within the community, and even the time of the struggle. The women were there, they followed their husbands. They also went because they want, that time people were crazy, they want independence. So even some of these women went there, and some of them are still alive, and some of them are in the government in GPA. There is one woman that I love so much, she's called Boyo Ikabula. Yeah, she has sung so many songs for SPLM during that time of the struggle, and through her, so many people, so many young girls and boys have known about the struggle through her songs. She has so many songs that she sings.
Their influence is seen in quiet acts of unity and bold calls for justice, in nurturing peace, preserving culture, and building stronger, more inclusive communities.
In the leadership in Bibor right now, the side of gender, social welfare, gender, and whatever, they're all women. The advisor for gender is a woman, and the minister for gender is a woman. So they're the ones who do most of the gender-related things. Sometimes they give women these roles, not knowing they're going, because things to do with children, things to do with peace, sometimes it touches women a lot, and it has to do with their gender. Yeah, they have done some things with I don't know how to put it very well, because you talked about the whole South Sudan. So I think if they are helping within Bibor, it's part of South Sudan. Yeah, it's contributing.
What lies ahead for Murle women and their heritage? Because of the Murle story, like all stories, must continue to evolve, carried on the voices of women who honor the past while building a new tomorrow. There is a future where rights and opportunities walk hand in hand with culture and pride.
I wish and I hope to see South Sudan where these women will be, they say, oh, education is important, but it's only seen important for the men, for the boy child, For example, if I have a girl and a boy, I would see it fit to take the boy to school because he'll not go anywhere. I understand the logic behind it, but for example, this girl who is not even educated will be given to a man that she has not chosen to marry. And what if this man also is not educated and cannot help her? We're no longer in a time where you can survive without education. Like we survive, we don't pay rent, don't pay this. We're just in the village and we can sustain ourselves. He will go bush hunting, but he needs to take kids to school. So if I'm an educated girl, and even if I'm forced for marriage, I'll be able to take care of myself and my parents. And then I will know how to also, nurture my kids, these kids that I'm having. And I think education it has no sex. It's important for both a girl and a boy. There is something they did to encourage parents to take their kids to school. They increased the dowry by law. They increased the dowry for a girl who is educated and a girl who is not educated. So the girl who is educated, her cows are higher than the one who... So these cows, the difference is not that big even, but they will take them to school because they feel, oh yeah, she'll bring many cows.
That's it.
Yeah, like if we increase these cows more, they'll be like, we'll take all these girls to school. I think even they'll forget about taking boys to school.
There is hope in the younger generation, in girls who learn both the stories of their ancestors and the language of progress.
This informal education, we call it informal, but it's the biggest education you can ever get, this informal education. Sitting down with your grandparents, if your grandparents are still alive, or your own parents, and they tell you these stories. And then also go and visit your village. Yeah. Learn how to do your cultural dances so that you teach your children also. Learn how to speak your language. And the traditional foods. Our festivals, they are already established. Festivals for age sets, as I said. My father's age set, this is my father's age set. And we have these annual festivals for the sons and the daughters of Muden. We come together, and those ones who don't know will get to know some of the things there. When they started their generation up to now, they're in their early 60s to late 70s and 80s. So you will see how much story, like it's so rich, like all these generations, for how long it has been. Yeah. So those festivals are there for all the generations. I think also another thing that we should do is, like the Maasais have this Maasai market and Maasai Day. It's so interesting if we could have these things and sell these beads, these beautiful beads. Yeah.
This is the story of Murle, of their women, of their strength, spirit, and change.